Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Onslaught Legends series season 3. I have replaced Moff with a prediction genius called Phil. Hello Phil, how are you doing?
Very good, very good. I was following the competition from the back seats. Very happy that we not only got our predictions right, but also because of Lotus getting a point, now having quite a close situation at the bottom of the table. But as you can see, the upcoming match, Cashback versus Mafia, is more about who will and who will not be at the top of the table. Both of those teams having pretty good performances so far. I think Mafia, aside from their first round where they dropped the ball, so far 3 in a row. And yeah, you can see Cashback, very confident faces. There are a couple of new faces as well, especially on the left side with Brainbreaker and Shelby Walk.
Yeah, Brainbreaker coming over from W, right?
Yeah, and Shelby Walk from the previous team that played. So Darkside got Hellmind the season before, and now it was Cashback's time to take back one of their players. But yeah, there we have Mafia, and I think Mafia also took one of the Lotus players, but also one season before, you can see Yusek, one of their top performers. But yeah, also a lineup that we have seen quite a while now without any changes.
No, and this lineup, Phil, I actually predicted it's my prediction winner for this season. Don't know why, just a feeling out. That's why I was really on the edge here between who I was going to vote for. Was it Cashback or was it Mafia? I just feel like Cashback right now probably have so much fire in them from the disappointing season start they had that they will want to win it more.
I mean, wanting is always one thing, but we'll have to see. The community is in favor of Cashback, but I would say that 35% for Mafia is definitely not a situation where they're being counted out completely. So I think Mafia has left an impression, and especially against a Cashback that just came from a very convincing 3-0 victory, 35% is not too bad.
Barbarian here, the highlight player for Cashback, strategist, carryist, soloist. You know, the man does a little bit of everything. He has been performing very well, but his team has not been doing so well.
Basically pushing into the donut, and then twice in a row, Cashback kind of swept them by just having a better opening. They had a TVP sitting in the corner as well, and were just able to eliminate a couple of guns and then snowballed both cliff rounds very quickly.
Round number 1, though, between Mafia and Cashback, we can see very different styles in terms of the lineup. What is the same across is the double 50B for either team. But then the main bulk fill for Mafia is BZs, and for Cashback is the 50Ms.
Yeah, how do you feel about the double light tank, especially as you are bringing this push-heavy DPM E50M setup? How do you feel about the double light tank having to kind of complement the already not so great like HP / armor pool compared to like something like a 277 or a BZ?
I'm not a fan of the double light, to be honest. While I get to get full info out of it, it's just not something I'm too happy about to see. Liberty taking some damage, yeah. Maybe Kono gets one as well. No, he doesn't. But YOLO from the back lines finding one as well. And it does look like they're going to drive straight through. Marcel realizes this now, and he's, still crossing towards the rock. They're going to try and focus out Twilight, who's down towards 600. Kono's getting some good shots in as well, but yeah, Marcel is definitely down and out in this one. Twilight down towards the one-shot. YOLO trying to hide behind that rock there on a RHM at A5, an interesting position. He doesn't find the kill, but Marcel will put Twilight down, and he's doing a good job at the ring around the rosy here. HP-wise though, Phil, currently Mafia edging themselves ahead, but Cashback should be clearing the middle of the map.
Yeah, and now the question is, what benefit will give the double light tank there on top of the hill? If you have a CS, then you might be able to generate some extra damage with the higher alpha. You have the mini strike as well. You already have one plane plus the point of interest, which gives you the recon plane. So the question is, how can they make best use of their double light tank, especially now that all the info on which tank is where is pretty much known?
Ooh,
good pickup there.
Very good pickup. They find YOLO behind that rock. I thought he was going to be safe, but no.
I think the repush is coming, and obviously the repush is always expensive, especially with the double auto-loading 50 Bs here. Little taking a bunch of damage as well, and I have to say, I'm not sure why bark is just crossed there alone. I understand that they have to somehow like prevent them from capping, but you can see Brainbreakers putting in good shots, and with one strike or 150B peeking in there, this is a very risky move, and yeah, they're immediately being punished.
Kono does get the level 2 ability on the strike, which is going to be enough to pick up Brainbreaker. You could see that come in there as well. If it gets to level 2, finishes off that E50M, and now Kono hiding on that rock, trying to stay as close to it as possible. And now the 50Bs will be forced in the open though.
Yeah, you can see there are 18 seconds left on the RT strike, so that's not an option. It's not fast enough. The 50B's pushing in now, and Orsage taking immediate punishment. Down to 1000 HP. The replane is coming. Barbarian has one more shot, and there he is out of the game. Yusei coming in with 3 more shots, but there's not really anything to push for him because Barbarian is protecting little, and Aka is giving really good crossfire here.
Liberty taking the rest of the clip here. Kono coming in, trying to find something as well. Finds a shot against Liberty, but it's 3 tanks standing from Mafia on a one-shot. Initially, they did a good number on those cashback tanks, pushing through, even finding a kill and trading it out. But YOLO dying there, not able to stay safe, and that light tank at A5 Phil sealed the deal, removed any sort of crossfire.
Yeah, I have to say, good stuff coming here from Cashback, especially being able to clear out the light tank at A5. Maybe that was like one benefit, that they had the double plane and you can kind of like keep the light there perma-spotted. But in the end, the RHM is also a big target, so hiding behind the rock is not that easy if there are that many angles.
No, and especially because the RHM's not really the shortest tank in the game either. It's pretty long, so it's, you know, like a T100 would sit safe there. But I'm curious to see that they still decided to cross Marcel, knowing that so many tanks were going middle. He did trade off his life relatively well, does 2 shots with a kill, okay? But on the cashback side, you see the spread is much, much better. I mean, Squeezy does 4K though.
Yeah, I mean, Liberty as well with 3K.
Sure.
And obviously you can see sniping damage coming in as well, so he was able to make good use of his gun.
So I guess they're aiming to win 1-2 line, and if they push over, then the 57 is just doing its DPM, but they'll run.
This looks very similar to what they did against Darkseid, no? With the TVP on the outside and like a mix of 50Bs and E50Ms.
There's a lot of Mafia tanks here ready to receive this. I mean, the TVP will clip, and now they're stopping even with little to try and clip out, but Liberty gets liberated from this matchup altogether. As he falls, Orchek will bite the dust in return, but Kono and Yuzik are still there. And look at it now, Phil. This 57 is absolutely a non-factor in this matchup whatsoever. He's going to be driving, and his teammates are basically going to be dead.
Yeah, you can see they are not really in the game yet, but the 50Bs are also a bit out of steam. You can see Marcel reloading. He will take a shot from Twilight being eliminated out of the game. And while there's still a small HP advantage for Mafia, they have to make a decision now because they will be sandwiched, and the T57 with a lot of DPM will make its way into the game.
Finally, Barbarian arrives in the T57 heavy. It felt like forever, Phil, to be honest with you. While Little and Aka are getting run down by the boys from Mafia, that 50B now reloading will fall against Conrad or Yusek, depends on who gets the shot first. Twilight now pushing across, but that is a BZ, man. That doesn't have any DPM whatsoever. Barkus in the Leaf 50M has plenty of it though, as he finds himself a lonely little TVP out in the open. Twilight doing the correct thing, the right play here, pushing out the CS63 with those boosters. Barbarian will be there to clip him out in return, but even with all that, it's not gonna be enough.
Yeah, you can see the BZ reload. It would have usually not been enough. Kono unfortunately drives into the rock, but I don't think that will make a difference. Barbarian is a great player, but 3 against 1 with an autoloader against 5,800 HP, that's not doable. And obviously, Mafia's players have the experience to make sure they're not making any easily avoidable mistakes here. Barbarian now pushing forward, trying to secure some extra damage. He has a strike as well, so he can boost the damage with a bit of RAM as well. And yeah, in the end, he gets strike damage at the very beginning. At the very end, it didn't matter at all.
It did, like, basically all of the 5,700 damage was useless. In the first clip, you can subtract 1,600 actual, maybe useful damage, but the game was already in its final moments at that point.
I think shoutouts to the TVP, very stellar performance here. But yeah, like sometimes you're just the first one to drive in. Little and Squeezy, they did their one shot, their one clip, and then just against the sheer forces of CS and E50M plus the 50Bs of...
Because, you know, Liberty used to be their like standout player, right? and he's played a lot of non-lights so far this season.
Yeah, looks like they're doing this time the combination of EBR and RHM. Squeezy, one of the standout players, last season's MVP in my eyes. Also, very good performance in the first matches with his RHM, and I think it was Liberty on Sand River with the EBR that nearly carried one of the rounds against W. But yeah, double for 30U for Mafia, a Fosh B, double RHM Centurion for Inspire, and a BZ. Obviously a Mouse, a bit of a different tank. We have a Leopard as well on the side of Cashback. So both teams bringing in their own flavors. Which side do you prefer?
I like the EBR combo with the RHM, to be honest. It's very potent, especially because, you know, Squeezy's not spotted in the beginning. So Liberty's hiding to make sure he doesn't get shot. The RHM will take it from YOLO. He will take the info point. Nobody...
Oh, he got decap.
Last second decap.
Minus 450.
Yeah, I said coming in the lineup, which is also something to note because he's been benching a lot this season.
Yeah, I guess with Brainbreaker, they have a good damage onto Liberty, actually. 700 into the RHM. I was about to say, with Brainbreaker, they really added another strong individual carry player to their lineup, so I can understand that maybe they have a different approach, similar to maybe W, where Frugo is taking the back seat and yeah, like dictating the pace of the game from Discord maybe, or something like that. But yeah, damage is being exchanged, the cap has been started, and YOLO is in a bit of trouble here. He has 900 HP, so he could be a two-shot for HE from the EBR. Puts in one, ends up on 400 HP. The cap is being stopped again, so we'll have to see if Squeezy can penetrate a shot. He does, and that is definitely an advantage for Cashback, which are slightly down in the HP department.
And Mafia is able to reset the strike on Liberty at the very least, and Bark is now coming to clip out Aka with his 4 shells remaining. Pops his ability, gets the first, doesn't get the second, however, will not...
5 seconds in the cap. Brainbreaker is approaching. Yep, the Leopard strike, decaps, 90 damage, you can see. 10 seconds again left. Liberty is trying to get the strike in the 7 line, close to the forest. 5 seconds left, so that would not be enough. Yeah, now the decap came in. Barbarian in the bedchat dealing good damage, and now the push coming out from Kono, Orsech, and Jusik, but it's a bit disjointed, and Barbarian was able to put Brainbreaker in a good spot there, having this couple of seconds of distraction, and the E50M might wreak havoc here.
They have some really nasty triangle though between Iset, Barbarian and Brainbreaker. They have like a really good crossfire that could bring them home across this round. Jusik, they're getting his gunner damaged, and then pushing into that building, not getting too much out of it. Orchek pushing forward already. They need somebody to kill Brainbreaker though. I mean, he's going for Barbarian already, but they still need to pick up Brainbreaker. Liberty falling, and it's still a close affair nonetheless. Ono finds a kill, Barkus falls in the middle, but the really big issue here is that there's 3000 HP on the BZ.
Yeah, and Squeezy with his light tank obviously also still able to contribute a lot. You don't have the situation where you have like a full HP mouse on this map that can't really contribute. So a good spread of HP. You can see all the tanks aside from Barbarian have eaten significant damage. Now the kills are being closed up again. 4 versus 3, still Cashback favored. And I think with this setup, especially with such a healthy map control situation, there's not much to do from Mafia right now.
The BC carries all the HP. He'll take the strike, but he'll get reset one more time. Well, it's the same thing as getting reset when you have to drive off, right?
Yeah, I mean, the damage of the CS strike in this case is fairly insignificant. Marcel is being spotted, and you can see Kono now spotted as well. Squeezy has to make sure that he will be getting his support. Barbarian, good first shot. Second shot misses, so both tanks with HE are one shot now. Kono needs to have the reaction. Squeezy picks him up, and now Marcel also in a heap of trouble. Conrad with all the HP driving in, but I think it's much too late. Even if he picks up a kill here and there now, against the Batchat, against the strikes, and against the mobile lineup of Cashback, he shouldn't stand any chance. And Cashback going for match point.
Yeah, I think even if Squeezy wasn't winning that 1v1, I mean, that wasn't really what decided the game, to be honest. Like, they were getting good resets out of that CS.03 and Leo combination of Little and Iset, resetting those for to use numerous times over.
They have much more freedom to do whatever they want, and you can see all the damage dealing tanks are on top, right? The Leopard did good damage. Squeezy obviously survived for very long as well. Little as well contributing with strikes and sniping as well. Barbarian picking up 3 kills. So good stuff here. And the fact that the mouse is not really able to contribute that much, still dealing significant amount, especially in spotting as well. So he just bought a lot of time. And Conrad, we mentioned it, like his damage in the end, he did like 2 more shots or something. Not really important.
No, indeed. But the bigger issue is there, you know, Yuzek with that only 2 shots of damage, you want that thing to be able to deal it. And it wasn't. So...
Sure, but the T-57s, you mentioned it at the beginning, have a bit of a struggle when it comes to all the fences. So you have the situation where you mostly want to shoot heat against heavily armored targets, especially like against something like a 430U. And looks like so far no real damage is being exchanged, but Liberty might have overcommitted a bit. Marcel misses the first shot. There is some backup. The 430U is coming in, but now first damage being traded onto Liberty. Marcel's still alive, but the the T100 makes it out. The Centurion will not, and that's the Inspire tank being gone.
Yeah, Liberty, they're trying to stay alive in a T100. Orchek will come in. Now he will ram him to death, but so much damage returned for this. Marcel already dead. Orchek about to fall. He's dead. Little now finding Yuzek as well, and this game has barely started, and it's already over, Phil.
Yeah, you mentioned the important tanks at the beginning to fall, but now the match is continuing with Cashback on a great advantage. Inspire tank, Centurion still alive, next kill pickup, and only 2 tanks left for Mafia. I think this will be a very clean sweep here.
Yeah, it's completely over. It's going to be 3-1 for Cashback to finish it off, just like the script said, Phil. Unbelievable. What a great round from Cashback. And yeah, Liberty getting caught there a little bit in the beginning, but that was really just the bait, the way it looked like, because they committed so much to kill 1 T100.
Yeah, I mean, with this pace of game, the viewers will be banging about their drops, but obviously we'll have 8 games for you today, so Super Sunday, you don't have to be afraid of anything. Aside from maybe what is happening in the next match, because some of the teams there are really, really looking for some points, and it will be a tough one, especially for Lotus.
Real and true. I said coming on top there again in the Leo, good in the Leo and the CS. Good stuff by him. 999 altogether, pretty good. But across the board, just a convincing round for Cashback altogether.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. The T-57's very good for brawling, and they only had to put 2 clips. You remember when you said Barbarian's damage wasn't significant. Now he does half the damage, but this one was very important.
Yeah, but this damage is completely like irrelevant to the game, you know. And on Cliff, it wasn't.
No, and yeah, good penetration rates on the side of Mafia. They kind of had to focus their fire on Liberty at the beginning. Usually you say losing a light tank at the beginning is a big problem, but if every tank is involved in this big brawl, then the light tank is basically the tank with the lowest firepower, so you don't really mind losing it as long as all the other tanks, especially with 430Us, T-57s and an inspiring Centurion,